Hello, and welcome to the Young Actuaries Vodcast. I'm Jeffrey Chen, President of the Young Actuary Advisory Board. Today, I'm joined by Michelle Dawn, convener of the 2021 Young Actuary Conference. Michelle is a senior manager at Deloitte Consulting. Michelle and I are going to discuss what you can expect at the 2021 Young Actuary Conference. Welcome, Michelle.
Hey, Jeffrey. Thank you for having me.
The pleasure is mine. The Young Actuary Conference returned for its fifth year. The theme Navigating Wider Horizon encompasses all the challenges actuaries have pushed through in 2021 and a goal to identify, assess, and extinguish the emerging issues in the coming year. Michelle, what is this year Young Actuary Conference a must-attend event for all young actuaries?
Good question. So in this year's conference, we aim to provide young actuaries with insights that are broader than what you would find in the workplace and to think beyond what actuaries have typically done in the past, rather to shift what actuaries can do in the future. So as we would have seen over the past couple of years with COVID, it's not enough to keep doing what we have been doing, as the risks and challenges that arise and that we face as actuaries are constantly evolving. So for this year, our conference speakers elaborate on this exact theme and they delve deeper over a variety of different emerging areas as well. We've structured the conference into three main sections. So the first being future and emerging areas, where we'll hear from some of actuaries who are experts in data analytics, climate risk, and risk management, and how the changing landscape has impacted their work. This is then followed by a session focusing on COVID and how responses across life, GI, and public health differ. And finally, we hear from some experienced actuaries on their secrets to career success. So to sum up, in the fifth year of the Young Actuaries Conference, we build on the knowledge and insight sharing that are the hallmarks of this conference with a lens of broader thinking and emerging issues. Personally, I'm quite excited for the conference. It will be a valuable experience.
Amazing. It sounds like there's a lot of content that is really interesting. So my next question is, what does the theme of navigating wider horizon actually means for the young actuaries?
So back when we were brainstorming the theme for this year's conference, we really wanted to capture the evolving risks and challenges and how actuaries have had to adapt to this beyond the short term. The thinking behind this is that our world is changing so quickly that young actuaries may very well have career paths that we can't even imagine today. And the plenary sessions aim to target how to navigate this. We want to challenge young actuaries to think beyond what they learn through university or even through actuarial exams, and how collaboration can happen more broadly than just within an actuarial team. The wider horizons, therefore, is more than simply a shift in paradigm, rather an expansion to wider issues impacting our community, where actuaries can and already do play a pivotal role. So putting it all together, the theme for this year's YAC is to enable young actuaries to unlock a greater breadth in their careers or to navigate wider horizons.
Thanks, Michelle. I totally agree. We all have a unique journey from student to graduate to a fully fledged actuary, especially during the time during COVID. I myself have become a global actuary, often flying in and out of work across Asia. And in the past 2 years, I've taken over 20 COVID tests and completed 6 weeks, like 6 quarantine, total 13 weeks. So it's not something that I factor in when completing my study. So Michelle, what advice would you give for the young actuaries who perhaps might have felt the harsh reality of the lockdown and post-lockdown, the potential quarantine adjusting on the uncertain future?
Thanks for sharing, Jeffrey. That's such an unexpected and I hope very unique experience that will never happen again. Yeah, I agree. It hasn't been easy for those who have had to travel and even those who cannot travel. I guess the silver lining from all this is that we've really been tackling these challenges globally, from developing new data sources to developing vaccines. And out of this, one key takeaway from this time of uncertainty that I personally have found is to focus on the things that are within our own control in light of all this uncertainty, rather than try and change things that we cannot change. But perhaps more importantly, and maybe more useful, is to make the most out of all the opportunities that come our way. So with these uncertain times, you never know what's coming around the corner. And so if you're ready to make use of those opportunities, maybe your career will take you down a surprising path.
Well, that is really excellent advice. So last question, Michelle. What is your personal highlight for this year's Young Actuary Conference?
Personally, for me, I'm really, really keen to hear from the wide variety of speakers that we had, particularly people ranging from climate risk and data analytics, sharing their insights, sharing their views on how they as actuaries have developed and adapted to use their skill sets in an area that's maybe not so traditional or where typically actuaries would operate. But perhaps if I could suggest one additional thing that is making me excited, it's the networking. Getting in touch and getting to connect with other young actuaries and share your ideas, that's incredibly valuable because you get to bounce ideas off each other, maybe discuss things that aren't raised in those plenary sessions. And who knows, maybe make some lifelong connections as well.
That's so true. I think networking is one of the most important factors during COVID is to stay connected. Yeah. So thank you, Michelle. That's all we have for today. I hope everyone listening to this podcast has enjoyed this discussion. Please check out our Actuary Institute podcast for more actuary content. If you look at this and you have some questions or comment, we'd love to hear from you. You can visit the 2021 Young Actuaries Conference Hub on the Institute website, and there's a link to this podcast description. So keep an eye on your inbox for emails and on Institute social media channels. Michelle, thank you again so much for joining the podcast today. I'm Jeffrey Chen. Bye for now.
Thanks, Jeffrey.